Hey guys, I am officially in my 23rd week of pregnancy, and I know that doesn't sound like I'm super far along, but for me, I feel like every single week lately has felt like such a huge milestone. I think mostly because I've been getting huge so quickly, and I know what how high risk I am, especially for premature labor and to have little preemie babies. So yeah, like I said, every week just feels like a milestone for me. So as far as this video, I'm going to be going over my 23-week symptoms, just an update as far as how I'm feeling this week. I feel like a lot has changed in the last week since I filmed my last video. So I'm interested to compare it with the last video. I can't exactly remember what I said. I do remember mentioning hip pain and back pain, and I feel like that, among with other things, have just gotten like way more extreme. And then aside from that, in my last video, I also did a question and answer, and there were a few questions that didn't make it into that video just because it ended up getting pretty long. So I'm gonna answer some more questions, and then I'm also just gonna. There are just some things that I find interesting throughout a multiples pregnancy that I just think that they're worth sharing. Okay, so let's get started. As far as my symptoms, and also I'm gonna be looking at this pretty much the entire time, because one symptom is I'm really forgetful. And not just like forgetful with just life in general, but like I could be in the middle of a conversation and have to turn to someone and say, what is the word that I'm looking for? That's like the worst. So anyway, I'm going to be looking down at this the whole time, and I hope it doesn't bother anybody. Symptom number one, I am so out of breath. I'm out of breath right now, even just talking, but like going up the stairs, taking my dog on a walk, anything is making me out of breath. Making my bed in the morning is making me out of breath. Everything is making me out of breath. It's not really a big deal. I'm not sure if it's just because I don't have very much room right now to take a deep breath, but I'm just out of breath, which brings me to my next symptom. I'm always feeling so full. I know I have a lot going on in my really short torso, and there's 3 babies in there. So it's probably mixed with the fact that I'm breathing and I do have the 3 babies, but I'm always feeling so full. Which brings me to a random fact that I find interesting about multiples pregnancy. At the beginning of my pregnancy, my doctor informed me that the most successful pregnancies are pregnancies that are from when the woman gains weight very early on in her pregnancy. So I was advised that the best thing for me to do is gain 20 pounds in the first 20 weeks. And the reason that is because I'll get to this point where I'm at right now, where I am out of breath, I'm uncomfortable, it's difficult for me to eat because I feel so full, and I won't be able to eat. So luckily, because I'm 23 weeks pregnant, in my first 20 weeks, I gained exactly 20 pounds. Right now, as far as like last week, I was up to a total of 22 pounds. So it seems like throughout the rest of my pregnancy, it's likely I'll probably gain a pound a week, which seems about right. The doctor still did advise me that gaining any more than 35 to 40 pounds, it's okay, but it's not necessarily necessary. So yeah, as far as weight gain, I've gained a total of about 22 pounds this pregnancy. I'm not complaining at all. It just means that my babies will be bigger and healthier, and that's all I really want. I'm going to the bathroom all the time. I always feel like I have to pee. Mostly because, like I explained in my last video, baby A is super down low, and whether I have to pee or not, she's always bouncing on my bladder. So I may go to the bathroom and literally nothing even comes out, but it's just because she's jumping on my bladder, which again, I don't mind. I think it's kind of cute when I can feel her doing it, but it does not feel right. It almost feels like when you're on a roller coaster and you're going down and your stomach starts to flip. That's how it feels when she's jumping on my bladder. Another symptom I've been having is I'm super emotional and hormonal. Well, I'm emotional probably because of the hormones. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I just feel like every little thing is almost setting me off this week. And I don't mean to be having a short temper, but I just feel myself having a short temper. And I feel really bad about it. So if you're any of my friends or family watching this, I apologize if I've been short-tempered with you. I've just been super emotional this week, and I was just watching the show Outdaughtered on TLC. If you haven't seen it before, they have twins, and I was watching the very first episode when they go in to have the babies, and I was sobbing like a baby because it's just so emotional to see that I will be there, minus 2 babies, of course, but I'll be there in just a few short weeks, and only about 11 to 12 weeks, which is crazy. Which brings me to another thing. I've never mentioned what my due date actually is. So for a normal 40-week pregnancy full term, my actual due date is March 13th, 2017. So I will never make it that far. I was told that right from the very beginning, and my doctors also don't want me going that far, because once I get big enough, and once the babies get big enough, there will not be any more room for them, and it will get to the point that I'll start swelling, my blood pressure will go up, I'll be so uncomfortable, I literally will not be able to eat anymore, and because of that, the babies will start to regress, and it can just get pretty dangerous. So they will be taking the babies between the week 34 and week 35. So between 5 and 6 weeks early. So how they'll do that is, just in a couple of weeks, I think it starts at 27 weeks, I'll start going to the doctor once a week. As of right now, I go every 2 weeks. And at that point, I'll go every week. And if they notice between week 34 and 35 that my blood pressure is starting to get high, or the babies maybe just aren't gaining as quickly, at that point, they'll make the decision that it's time to obviously deliver me. So yeah, that's why I'm not sure if you've noticed in like the little info or the about section, it says that my triplets are due in February, but that's just because I'll never make it to the March 13th date. So as far as symptoms and like random things that I just find interesting about a multiples pregnancy, that's pretty much it. So now I'll move on to some more of those questions that I wanted to answer. So one of the questions was, do I plan on having any more babies? The answer from the top of my mind, or off the top of my mind, is yes. Steve and I have always talked about wanting a big family. I come from a really big family of 6 kids. There are 4 kids in Steve's family, and I just couldn't picture it any other way. I know that 3 babies at once is a lot. In my opinion, could always change, but as of right now, I plan on having more, at least 1 more. And we'll see how it goes from there, but as of right now, yes. And also, it's once you have multiples once, you're more likely to have multiples again. So I could have 1 more pregnancy and decide that's it, especially if it's twins or even triplets again. What are the sleeping arrangements going to be for the babies? So I've heard a lot of different things regarding multiples. When the babies first come home, I do plan on keeping them in my room. So I have 3 separate bassinets for them, and they'll probably stay in our bedroom for a few months at least. And I think I'm going to be most comfortable with that, and I think Steve is most comfortable with that, and I'm sure the babies will prefer to be closer to us, especially because the demand for like them needing to feed and have their diapers changed is going to be so high, and the way our house is set up is that their nursery is going to be on the other side of the room. So initially they'll be in bassinets in our bedroom, and then we already have 3 cribs for them. I plan on putting them all in separate cribs. A lot of multiples parents, they keep their multiples in the same crib. And I haven't really done much research on it. However, I do know that a lot of NICUs don't advise you do that. And I have not met with the actual NICU team. I'm doing that in December. So I look forward to speaking with them and seeing what they recommend. But as of right now, I plan on keeping them in the same room, just in separate beds. Do I plan on breastfeeding? I absolutely plan on breastfeeding. It's something I've always wanted to do. I don't know that I'll really truly be able to breastfeed. I would love to be able to do that for my babies, but all I can ask for right now are healthy babies, and then I'll go from there. If I can't breastfeed because it's not enough for the babies, or they just need more, or I'm not supplying enough, then that will be fine. I'll deal with it then. But as of right now, if I could breastfeed, I would absolutely love to. Will Steve, my husband, have time off from work when the babies are born? Yes. That's a work in progress right now, because my husband does work really, really hard. He works really long hours, but he's doing that so that he can take some time off. It's a little bit unpredictable because we never know how long the babies will be in the NICU for, which is really scary. I know a lot of premature babies end up in the NICU for about a month because they do have to be 4 pounds, eating enough on their own, breathing on their own. There's just like a list of a ton of things that the babies have to be doing to be able to go home. Pretty much they have to be living and breathing like a full-term baby is living and breathing before they can ever go home. So we don't know how long they're going to be in the NICU for. It all depends on how long they're there for. And then once we get home, he'll definitely be staying home to help out and get to know the babies and just get adjusted at home. But as far as a length of time, we're not sure yet. We're gonna play it by ear, but he definitely plans on taking off probably at least a month. And the last question, which is a hard one, is what am I looking most forward to? I'm looking forward to everything about it. I would say probably the most thing is the number one thing would be just being a mom. I've wanted it for so long that being a mom just sounds so amazing to me. And I'm already a mother to these babies. I feel them every day. I've like created their lives, and feeling them move, it's just unreal. So I cannot wait to be their mom and just watch them grow and watch them hit their milestones. Yeah, that's probably what I'm looking most forward to. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you have any more questions, feel free to answer them down below, and I would love to, or ask them down below, and I would love to answer them. I do plan on making videos once a week. We'll see how I do with that. I'm really enjoying doing it so far, and I would like to just continue doing pregnancy updates as I reach a new week. And I do also plan on doing like a nursery tour. And as far as a birth vlog or anything like that, I'm not sure about that. It really just depends on what the hospital allows. But for myself especially, I would love to have anything I can on film. So yeah, I do plan on making more videos. Hopefully if you like what you see, you subscribe, which is a little awkward for me to say because I'm still getting used to this whole YouTube thing. And if you want to follow our journey more, you can do that by going to my Instagram, and I'll put that down below as well. Okay, so if you have any questions, just go ahead and ask down below, and thanks for watching. Bye.